Mark, divorce options are pretty simple, right? It's either contested where you go to trial or uncontested where you don't.
Many people think that. You're right about the two legal categories, but within each there are several paths. In practice, you have more than two options for how to do it. And depending on where you live and what's at stake, the process and the cost can vary a lot. Knowing your options could save you thousands and months of frustration.
Wait, there are more than two.
This is general divorce information. Laws vary, so check with a legal professional in your area.
Laws vary, but smart strategies don't. This channel helps you avoid common mistakes and make better decisions around divorce. The content here is based on U.S. divorce procedures. Today, we'll give you a clear overview of the 9 main divorce options so you can focus on what fits your situation. Just keep in mind, divorce options are where this conversation begins, not where it ends on this channel.
Mark, how do people know which options are actually available in their state? How can they start looking?
Great question. Divorce law is different everywhere. Some options like simplified divorce or arbitration aren't available in every state. That means what's possible in one state may not be allowed in another. Before we go into the 9 options, I'd like to bring in Kay to explain a couple of important legal rules that affect what people can actually do.
Thanks, Mark. Let me explain the key legal requirements you should know before choosing a divorce option. First, there are residency requirements. This usually means you or your spouse must live in the state for a certain period, often 6 months or more, before you can file for divorce there.
So every state sets its own residency rule?
Exactly. Each state decides how long you must live there before filing. Second, some states follow no-fault divorce rules. This means you don't have to prove your spouse did anything wrong. You can simply state that the marriage is no longer working.
But some states still use fault-based divorce, right?
Yes, some states still allow fault-based divorce, where one spouse blames the other for things like adultery or abuse. These rules, residency, and whether the state uses fault or no-fault divorce can affect how long the process takes, who gets what, and which divorce options are available to you.
Thanks, Kay, don't worry. We'll show you how to check your state's specific divorce laws and where to find reliable information. This is really important because your state's rules can affect everything about your divorce process. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the 9 divorce options.
1. Simplified divorce.
For couples with no kids and very few assets, usually under $500 to $1,000, fast and inexpensive. Only available in some states if you meet strict requirements.
2. Default divorce.
One spouse files, the other doesn't respond. The court proceeds without them, typically under $1,000. Efficient if the other person is absent or uncooperative. You still need to present your case to the judge. Let me tell you what happened to Angela. She was shocked when her husband filed for divorce. She felt frozen, afraid to deal with the paperwork, so she didn't, but ignoring it didn't make it disappear. The court moved forward without her. She didn't show up, so her husband got everything he asked for, including the house and full custody. Angela later said, "I thought if I stayed quiet, it would buy me time. I didn't know I was giving up my rights."
3. DIY divorce.
You complete and file everything yourself, no lawyers, often under $1,000. Budget-friendly? Small mistakes can cause big delays or expensive fixes.
4. Mediation divorce.
A neutral mediator helps both sides reach an agreement. About $3,000 to $7,000 total for both of you. Cooperative and cost-effective. Not ideal if there's a power imbalance or lack of transparency. Jason and Mia had been pretty civil during their separation, so they chose mediation. They figured it would be quick, even friendly. But once the financial discussion started, things changed. Old arguments came back. Jason wanted to keep the house. Mia wanted full custody. Their conversations got heated, and the mediator wasn't allowed to give legal advice. In the end, they left mediation frustrated and confused. They had to start all over, this time with attorneys. Mia later said, "We should have prepared better. We thought we could wing it, but this was more emotional than we expected.
5. Mediation with attorneys.
Same process, but with legal guidance along the way. Typically $5,000 to $15,000 per person. More protection, less court involvement. Nina and Carlos had been married for 15 years. They had 2 teenage children, owned a house, and had some assets they weren't fully clear about. They wanted to handle their divorce with the help of a mediator and attorneys. But first, they called their county court to confirm that this process was allowed under their state's law. When they received assurance, they felt relieved. Together, they searched for a neutral mediator. Each of them also hired an attorney, not to fight, but to protect their individual rights. Most of the issues were resolved through discussions with the mediator. However, for the parts that were difficult to agree on, their attorneys joined the meetings to provide legal advice that a mediator could not offer. Thanks to this approach, they were able to come to an agreement on parenting, the house, and other assets. To ensure everything was correct, they had their attorneys prepare the final paperwork. Carlos said it wasn't always easy. There were some tough conversations, but in the end, it worked.
6. Collaborative divorce.
Each spouse has a specially trained attorney and may include financial or parenting experts. Usually $10,000 to $25,000 plus per person. Team approach with professional support. If it fails, you may end up in court with added cost. Liz and Devin had a peaceful breakup. They even had dinner together while talking about divorce. So they chose collaborative divorce, thinking it would be smooth. At first, everything went well, but then they started talking about retirement savings and parenting time. Their friendly tone turned tense. Each of their collaborative attorneys had to protect their interests, and suddenly they weren't on the same team anymore. The process broke down, and they had to switch to contested divorce with new lawyers. Liz said afterward, "I thought we were different. But once the money talk started, it felt like war."
7. Arbitration divorce.
A private judge called an arbitrator hears your case and makes a binding decision. Around $7,000 to $20,000 plus total. Faster than court, you lose the right to appeal.
8. Contested divorce without court.
You disagree at first, but reach a deal through negotiation or attorney help. Typically $7,000 to $20,000 plus per person. Avoids trial, more control. Still costly, especially if drawn out.
9. Contested divorce, court litigation.
No agreement. The case goes to trial. A judge decides. The most expensive, $15,000 to $50,000 plus per person. Sometimes necessary for complex, high-conflict cases. Long, stressful, and emotionally draining. Now that we've explained the 9 divorce options, there's one unique option to add.
Is it divorce or not? Wait, no divorce?
It's called legal separation.
So, not divorce, but court approved.
Exactly.
Legal separation.
You remain legally married but live separately. The court can decide child custody, child support, spousal support, and property division. Some people choose this instead of divorce for personal or financial reasons. Can later be changed to a divorce. Not all states allow legal separation. One last thing before we move on. We promised earlier to show you how to find reliable divorce information for your state. Kay is going to show you where to get it.
To get accurate and up-to-date information, check your local family court website, especially sites ending in .gov or .org. You can also visit the courthouse in person and ask for the correct forms or guidance. Laws can change, so make sure the information you're using is current. If you need help, many licensed family law attorneys offer a free 30-minute consultation. Some specialize in uncontested divorce, others focus on contested cases, and some are trained mediators who can help both sides work together.
Today, you learned that divorce isn't just 1 or 2 choices. There are 9 different paths you can take. Each one comes with its own costs, steps, and risks. Some options are available only in certain states. Choosing the right approach early can save you time, money, and stress. Learn from others' mistakes, and make sure you apply the information to your own situation. Always verify the facts. Divorce laws differ by state, so check official sources and apply everything to your own situation. This series begins with a big picture overview of all 9 divorce options. Starting in episode 2, we'll take a deep dive into each option, one by one, so you know how each process works step by step. Just keep in mind, divorce options are where this conversation begins, not where it ends on this channel. When you understand the road ahead, you can guide your divorce in the direction that truly works for your life. And even if you hire a great attorney, you should still stay in the driver's seat, not the back seat where you can't see where things are headed. But you don't have to go through this alone. The right knowledge at the right time can change everything. Laws vary, but smart strategies don't. Divorce information. Always by your side. See you next episode.